Hello, hello. Welcome to Lessons from a Lurker turned Liberator on this very last day of November. So tomorrow sees the arrival of December, the beginning, big crash outside, the beginning of my seasonal sanity savers, and I've been busy preparing those. And I have to say, I made the decision this year because so many introverts who follow my work don't live on Facebook. I decided to also send them as an email option. And I'm surprised by the number of people who've chosen to actually opt in to receive my seasonal sanity savers as an email. So it's rather nice, actually, that good morning, Facebook user. Oh, good afternoon. It is here. So it's 1 o'clock here and it's a grey, fairly miserable day. Look, I've sorted out my overlay. So it's the new branding rather than the old. Not sure about that top band. Don't like the look of that very much. So I might change that. I might take that out. So I've just come fresh from delivering a really interesting half-day session. The other half day is tomorrow, on ethical communications for young people in professional services. And it's been really interesting because it becomes apparent that very few of us actually think about, good morning, Carrie from northern Minnesota, very few of us have thought about our ethics, how they've been shaped, how they've been formed. So it's always quite an interesting session to watch these young people kind of scratching their heads thinking about, well, I just take my values for granted. I've never really thought about them. Again, sheesh, I seem to have to sign in constantly. I guess that's you then, Paul Hornsey Pennell, is it? I guess that's you having to sign in again. I'm not sure. It might be somebody else. If it is you, I hope you've still got power. Paul was one of those who was snowed in and cut off from the outside world and cut off from power for a day and a bit, I suppose, over the beginning of the weekend. I think not as much as those people in oh, that's Jenny. Hi, Jenny. Yeah, I wonder why it stopped you being able to comment then. Nice to see you, Jenny. Anyway, I haven't seen you for a while. Hope you're well. What's the weather like with you? I'm looking forward to hearing about that. Yes, so it's not Paul, but I'll continue the story. He was cut off, and not far from him is one of the highest public houses, pubs in the area. And they were snowed in for 3 days, I think it was. Fortunately, they just had a fresh delivery of beer and all the essentials. So they were able to have a good old 3-day party. I think if that had been me, I'd have started walking home. I don't know if I could have stood a 3-day party the way I feel at the moment. As you can hear, my voice is going a bit. I'm feeling very chirpy, but end of yearish. It's like now I'm coming to the end of my year and I actually need a proper break where I don't necessarily have to talk to anyone for a while. And yeah, I'm talking about that fairly soon. But as you can hear, I'm a little bit snuffly and a little bit croaky in the voice. So big news. Yeah, the seasonal sanity savers. I've had so much fun putting them together this year because I've expanded them a bit. If any of you haven't experienced my seasonal sanity savers so far, it's a post a day in Introvert's Corner, or as I've now offered, an email a day from December the 1st right the way through to the 31st. Because unlike a traditional Advent, things don't calm down necessarily on the 26th of December. We still have that period where often we've still got guests with us, or there are things that we're still expected to attend. So I've chosen to give you little bits of inspiration and ideas to how to keep your batteries recharged, how to keep on top of things right the way through until the beginning of January. And then what happens the beginning of January? We have World Introvert Day. and it's January the 2nd. So I'll be doing something on World Introvert Day, and I'd love for you to give me some ideas as to what you think I could or should be doing. I love the fact that it's the 2nd of January, because typically that is the time when the world finally exhales, when things do start to kind of return back, when guests have gone home, when work starts again. Yeah, what would you like me to do this year on World Introvert Day? I've done different things on different years, so I'm always open for suggestions. Sometimes I've done a guided meditation that keeps us, that gets us focused for the new year. Sometimes I've run a quick webinar to talk about how we can really show up. In doing the I can't say too much because otherwise I'll give away what I'm going to be talking about on seasonal sanity savers. But there is something that's really important about, you know, how we show up as ourselves fully and wholeheartedly in 2022. So I'd be delighted to hear your ideas as to what you think I could do. What else have I done? I've written another article, which is, this one's about how to be successful as an introverted business owner. And there are lots of us here who are business owners who could contribute to that. And I just love the fact that we're getting an opportunity to talk about it, and that being an entrepreneur or a small business owner, and you can be one and not the other, I guess. Not all business owners are entrepreneurs in my book. So, you know, it's not a world for extroverts. In fact, one of the comments that I made in the written piece is that being a small business owner is a notoriously lonely world. So it's ideally suited in a way to introverts who don't need people to bounce around ideas around with all the time. We can do it when we need to, but also there are times where we don't need to do it. What else? This week's podcast, God, I really am losing my throat, my voice, aren't I? This week's podcast is going to, again, be helpful, I think, to some people, because it's how do we declutter our minds sometimes? I've just been through a weekend, a really enjoyable weekend of, I didn't do as much as I thought I was going to do, but of chucking stuff out, of swapping over wardrobes, kind of now it's really changed weather-wise here, kind of packing away the summer clothes, getting out the big puffy winter coats. And it always reminds me of really the importance of doing the same with the thoughts in our head, kind of getting rid of the ones that aren't relevant anymore, that maybe don't suit where we are right now, so that we make space for the ones that, you know, deserve to be there, that perhaps we need to really examine in a bit more detail. So it's a really interesting little podcast about how we can declutter our minds. So yeah, some ideas coming in. Let me share what Carrie said. Maybe something about understanding because of DNA. Everyone has introverted and extroverted cellular memory. Oh, that could be an interesting one, Carrie. That could be an interesting one. Yeah. So keep the ideas coming, whether you're watching now live or whether you're I absolutely agree with this one, Carrie, because there are still not enough people who are recognizing introversion as a gift. So whether you're watching live and want to continue contributing your ideas as to what I could cover on World Introvert Day, or whether you're watching on replay, in which case #replay, do share with me what you think I could or should cover on World Introvert Day. And I'm wondering, actually, if this year it's a time to bring in some guests. So maybe there's a Q&A with some guests or something, maybe do something completely different. In which case, who do you think I should get hold of as a guest? It could be something interesting there, couldn't there? Anyway, I've got another busy afternoon. I've got a couple of coaching clients and some admin type work to do. It's the end of the month, so I've got some billing work to do, and that's always good news for the old coffers. So thank you for joining me, as always. And I think I might amend this because I'm not still quite loving this overlay. There's a bit of confusion down in that bottom left-hand corner. So I'm going to do a bit of tweaking, but at least we're off the old branding piece, which is good. So thank you for joining me. I hope you have a lovely rest of Tuesday. I hope you have a brilliant rest of your week as we tip into January. I'm wishing a month away already, as we tip into December. And watch out in Introvert's Corner from the seasonal sanity savers. And remember, do turn on notifications, because Facebook goes through these little spells of turning it to highlights only, in which case it's only if loads of people comment that you'll see anything. And these 31 days are going to be worth checking in with. So look forward to seeing you very soon, and happy rest of your day. Bye-bye.